Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're looking at something pretty incredible. How one single rule, just one, in the EU's massive new AI Act is about to set off this huge chain reaction that's going to change, well, pretty much everything about our digital lives. Think about this question for a second. Are you talking to a human or an AI? It used to be a pretty easy one to answer, right? Well, not anymore. And that simple question, it's right at the heart of a brand new rule that's about to completely reshape how we deal with technology. All right, let's get into it. We're talking about a specific piece of law, Article 50 of the EU AI Act. And the best way to think about it is like a stone being dropped into a still pond. It looks small, but the ripples, they're going to go everywhere. And it's all about one thing, transparency. So what this article does is create something called a transparency obligation. And honestly, it's a super simple idea at its heart. It just says that AI systems have to tell you they're AI. That's it. You have a right to know if you're interacting with a person or a machine. No more getting tricked. That's the stone we're talking about. Okay, so what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, it breaks down into three really straightforward things. First, if you're chatting with a bot or any kind of AI, it has to tell you. Simple. Second, any content made by AI, deepfakes, articles, images, it has to be labeled. You'll know it's synthetic. And third, and this one's a biggie, if an AI is analyzing you, say checking out your emotions during a job interview, you have to be told about it. And get this, the law is super, super clear on this point. This isn't some tiny little sentence buried on page 47 of the terms and conditions that nobody reads. Nope. The law says this information has to be given to you in a clear and distinguishable manner right from the get-go, the very first time you interact with it. No messing around. Okay, so we've dropped the stone. Now let's watch the first ripples spread out. This is where it gets really clever. See, this one rule, it doesn't just stand alone. It starts bumping into other really powerful EU laws. And the very first one it hits, it's a big one, your personal data and GDPR. Let's make this real. Picture this. You're going for your dream job. You've got a video interview, but instead of a person on the other side, it's an AI platform. And it's not just recording you, it's analyzing you, your suitability, maybe how confident you seem, or what your facial expressions are saying. This is the genius part. So the new AI Act says the company only has to inform you that it's using an emotion recognition system. But that little piece of information, it's like a tripwire. The second they tell you that, it triggers a whole different law, the GDPR. Why? Because analyzing your emotions is processing sensitive biometric data. And for that, GDPR says they don't just need to inform you, they need your explicit consent. See how that works? The AI Act forces them to tell you something that gives the GDPR its power. All right, that was the first ripple. Now let's follow the next one out. This is where it starts to get even bigger, because this isn't just about your personal data anymore. This is about the huge social media platforms, the places we all hang out online. Okay, new scenario. A deepfake video of a politician pops up online. It looks totally real, and they're saying something outrageous, something they never actually said. And of course, it goes viral. This is a massive problem, right? Well, the AI Act doesn't try to fight this battle on its own. And this is where you really see this web of rules working together like a team. First, you've got the AI Act. It puts responsibility on the people who created the AI deepfake tool in the first place. They should have built in a way to mark the video as synthetic. Then you've got the Digital Services Act, the DSA. That law targets the social media platform where the video is spreading. It says, hey, you need to have clear policies for dealing with this stuff. And finally, the Digital Markets Act, the DMA, comes in for the biggest platforms, the gatekeepers. It makes sure they can't just push their own detection tools and shut out the competition. It's a team effort. Creator, platform, and the market itself all have a role to play. But it doesn't even stop there. I mean, these ripples just keep going, touching the very foundations of how our digital world is built, right down to how data is managed and kept safe. So yeah, just to give you a quick idea, this whole transparency thing also plugs into other big laws. You've got the Data Governance Act, which is all about setting rules for how data, especially public data, can be used to train AI in the first place. And then there's the Cybersecurity Act, making sure the tools that are supposed to be labeling deepfakes are actually secure and can't be hacked. It's all connected. Okay, we've seen the stone, we've watched the ripples spread out and connect everything. So let's get to the bottom line. Why does this web of rules matter? What does all this complex legal stuff actually mean for you and me? Well, it really comes down to three main things, three huge takeaways. First, and most importantly, it gives you more control. Just knowing you're talking to an AI, that's the first step. It puts you back in the driver's seat. Second, it makes it way clearer who's accountable. When something goes wrong, we're not just shrugging our shoulders anymore. Is it the AI creator, the company that used it, the platform it's on? Now there are rules for all of them. And third, it's a direct shot at misinformation. By making sure synthetic content gets labeled, it helps us all build a digital world that's, well, a little more trustworthy. Look, the EU AI Act is absolutely a landmark achievement. It's a huge, powerful swing at building a future where we can trust this technology. But it leaves us with a really big question to think about. As AI gets better, as it gets woven more invisibly into our everyday lives, is just being told it's there, is that transparency really going to be enough to keep us in control?